Welcome back, everybody. It's Troy here. I appreciate y'all joining me once again. Thought I'd try something a little different. I was scouring through the internets and I noticed a yeast dough roll that was filled with some meat and cabbage and some other stuff. It's called a Runza, R-U-N-Z-A. Some other places around the world, I think they call it a bear rock or beer rock. B-I-E-R, rock. But supposedly it originated back in Russia in the 1800s. Went over to Germany. Then when the Germans migrated here to the United States, they brought their old recipes, handed them down through the generations. And I think up in the north, specifically around Nebraska, they make these. I think they're, well, I don't know if they're called Runzas or bear rocks or whatever they call them, but they look good. I thought I'd give them a try. And let me show you what we got. We're going to do the dough first. That's got to rise for an hour or so and let it double in size. And then we're going to make the filling. So let me show you the dough ingredients first. Here we go. All right, what we got to start off with, any kind of good dough, you're going to need some flour. I'm using bread flour. You're also going to need some yeast. I make a lot of homemade breads and pizzas, so I've got yeast galore there. You're also going to need some sugar, help feed the yeast, a little salt. We're going to put an egg in it, a little olive oil, and it calls for some milk. And these are about empty. I've got some whipping cream and I've got some half and half. So I'm going to try to use these up just because I need to get rid of them. They're not far from being expired. And otherwise you'd use milk, the same amount that I'm fixing to tell you here in a second. All right, what we need to get the yeast going, I've got my milk. This is 1 1/2 cups. And of the heavy cream and the half and half, I used 1 cup of heavy cream and half of a cup of the half and half. And then I heated it in the microwave. To get the yeast active, it needs sugar and it needs warm environment, whether it be water, milk, or what have you. You don't want to get this anything above, say, 108 or 110 degrees though. Ideally about 104. So, you know, around the same temperature of baby's milk, if you had children. But you don't want it so hot that it's going to kill the yeast. So just make sure it's kind of lukewarm in your microwave, or put it on the stove and get it kind of lukewarm. And this is a 2 1/4 teaspoon measurement of yeast. Put that in there. Also need, let's see how much sugar. 1/2 tablespoon. So not very much, you know. Add that in there. Alright, what we're going to do is just kind of mix this up and let this yeast bloom up just a little bit. It's probably going to take 5 minutes or so. Man, I can already smell that yeast. That's some good stuff. Alright, so let this yeast bloom up. We'll be right back. Alright, we are back. It's been 5 minutes. I don't know if y'all can see that this is bloomed. It's really nice and foamy. And man, it sure does smell good. Sure does. Alright, let's get this flour and dough stuff going here. First off, 1 egg. Oh, come on, get out of there. Got a little shell in there. Alright, got that done. Need 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Just closer where y'all can see it maybe. There we go. Alright, 2 tablespoons of olive oil. Like so. Calls for about a 1/2 teaspoon of salt. I'm just grinding it. It's a really fine grind. Alright, I'm going to add this 1 1/2 cups of milk with the yeast. Try to get all that goodness out of there. And again, you don't want your liquid too hot when you're trying to bloom the yeast, because it will kill it. Alright, now what we're going to do is put this on the mixer. Start adding our flour. Dough hook. Like that. Make sure I got everything. 1.5 cups of milk, lukewarm. About 2 tablespoons of yeast. 1/2 tablespoon of sugar. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. 1 egg. 2 tablespoons of olive oil. And then add the flour 1 cup at a time until you can get a dough. I imagine, since I've got 1.5 cups of liquid here, it's probably going to take 3, maybe 3.5, 4 cups. So I'm going to start off 1 cup. And again, I'm using bread flour. And I know it's going to take a lot more than this, so I'll be right back when it starts getting a little bit doughy. Alright, I've got 3 cups of flour in there. I don't think it's going to take 4. This is 4 cups. I'll slowly add, see what I have left. Still may be a tad bit wet. I'm going to go ahead and add a little bit more. So I've got like 1/4 of this cup left now. That's 3 3/4 cups flour so far. Alright, let me scrape it down one more time. Oh, and in case y'all didn't know, scraping it down is just simply doing this. Do it any way you want. Well, that's some nice feeling dough right there. Get all this flour off the top of this stopper right here. And a lot of times when I scrape this down, what I will do is move the dough hook just a little bit. Like that. Give it a little bit different spin. Then I'll reincorporate it. Alright, I think we're done. Alright, so I've got about 1/4 cup of this left, as y'all can see here. So 3 3/4 cups, but just know ahead of time too, when you're working with flour, doing some baking and stuff, always give or take 1/2 cup basically, depending on the humidity in your area and when you're doing the baking. So if you do this, it may take you 4 cups, it may take you 3 cups. I use 3 3/4 cups. Go figure, huh? Anyway, it's not an exact science. Just have fun with it. Make sure the dough is nice and pliable, and we're going to set it down now, and we're going to take it and let it rest with a little damp cloth over the top of it, and let it rest for about an hour. Let it double in size basically. Then we'll get started on our filling. Oh, and I figured I better show y'all what I'm doing here. Okay, this hasn't moved since I just told y'all what I was doing. Release the hook out of there. Scrape the hook down and get all that dough off there. Man, this is a really nice feeling dough. Alright, I'm gonna take my pan out of here. And basically what I'm gonna do, and this is clean, just gonna kind of knead this once or twice. It's a nice dough, man, I'll tell you. Alright, form it into a little ball. Kind of cinch it up on the bottom a little bit. Alright, move that out of the way. I just got some regular cooking spray. I happen to be using olive oil. And I'm going to take this same dealie here that I just used. Pop that in there. Spray the top of it a little bit. Got my little damp cloth here, a little dish rag. Put that on there. Set it in a warm spot in your house or oven. Let that rise until it doubles in size. Usually that's 45 minutes to an hour, but again, it depends on if it's winter time in your house, summertime. If you're sticking it outside and it's 30 degrees, it ain't gonna rise in 45 minutes. It's probably gonna take 2 or 3 hours. Anyway, when it doubles in size, that's your clue. Just keep checking it. All right, let's take a look at our ingredients for the filling. Hamburger meat, just ground 80/20 is what I'm using. Main ingredients, cabbage. You want to shred the cabbage up. Got some onion, we're going to dice that up really fine. Little minced garlic going in there, salt and pepper. And I may throw a little Worcestershire sauce in there. We'll check and see. I'm just going to I've never done this before, so I'm just going to kind of see how it tastes and see if it needs anything else. All right, I'm starting off. I've got basically a pound of 80/20 ground beef. Just want to break it up, and you want to brown it. Make sure it's cooked most of the way through. And while this is browning, I'm going to go chop up my cabbage and my onions. So let me do that. We'll be right back. All right, I got one whole onion here. And again, it's just diced up really fine. And this onion is going to produce some moisture, which is going to help kind of braise the cabbage. Alright, so I got that going. This is like on a medium high, just kind of browning and sauteing these vegetables, a little onion in there. Alright, let that keep going. I'm going to see if I can shred me up a little cabbage. Oh, and if any of y'all haven't done cabbage before, just slice this baby right down the middle here. Alright, what you want to do, you want to remove this core. See the core on the bottom here? Kind of cut an X or a V right there. Not an X, but a V. Just kind of remove that. Pretty simple. Just like that. You don't want that core in there. Just like so. Then what you can do is start shredding her up. However you want to do it. I think I may just quarter this thing. Yeah, just kind of do it like this. May actually let's do it this way. There. Much better. Because you don't want real big pieces of any of the vegetables. Alright, so I'm going to finish doing this. We'll be right back. Well, my meat is just about browned, and as it cooks intuition here, what I'm going to do is leave this kind of like on a medium high, and I'm going to try to get rid of most of this liquid. I figured what I would do, and I got the cabbage shredded up, you know, it's all over here. When this gets done, I'm going to add it to the cabbage. And what I've done here, as you can see, I've got 2 cups of warm water, and I've got 2 beef bouillon cubes in there. I just used regular Weiler's beef cubes. While this is going though, this is still cooking down a little bit. I am going to go ahead and add a little bit of this, just to add a little flavor to it. Not a whole heck of a lot. I haven't added any salt or pepper, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. And also need to add salt and pepper to the cabbage over there. So I'll do that here in just a second. Mix that all up and let it get going. Alright, so the cabbage. I'm just gonna add some of this sea salt. A couple tablespoons. And I got some black pepper here if I can get it open. There we go. Just regular McCormick's black pepper ground up. Nice heaping tablespoon there. All right. Tell you what, man, this sure does smell good over here. And I am going to taste this before I add it to the cabbage, but it's about there. I just need to finish cooking off the liquid. Still has a pretty good bit of liquid in there. So I'm going to do that. Be back here in a little bit. I almost forgot. I haven't added any garlic. Need to put some garlic in there. There we go. That is probably about maybe a teaspoon and a half. Let that cook in there and flavor that meat and onion up a little bit too. Okay, be right back. Well, we are back, and looks like to me this is about ready. So what I'm gonna do is taste it real quick. See if it needs anything. And it probably does. Let's see. Definitely needs some more salt. Kind of hard to get a lot of salt out of that grinder. Needs more pepper. It's tasting pretty oniony right now. Alright, I'll let this go for a minute or two. We'll taste it again. Be right back. Alright, I just tasted it again. Still think it needs some more salt. It's getting close. I'm going to go ahead and add some more pepper this way too. And again, this is my first time cooking this, y'all, so I'm sure there's better ways to do it, and there's probably as many recipes to do this as there is recipes for jambalaya, gumbos, and all that good stuff that I'm used to. But I thought I'd give it a shot. It looked pretty good. Let's give this another try. Should be getting real close. Come on now. That's pretty good. I think it could use a hair bit more Worcestershire. That's probably going to be good enough. And I'm sorry if I'm disappointing some of you that want me to put a lot of spices and the cayenne and all the different heats, chili powders and stuff. Yeah, I may do that if I do this again. But for this first run, I don't want to overcomplicate it. I want to try to stick to the original recipe as much as I can. But heck yeah, man, if it's good. If it tastes good as it looked when I was looking this up, that's going to be some good stuff. Give me another shot here. Yeah, now we got something. Now we're talking. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and add this to the cabbage over here. Turn off that flame right there. Kind of let all this cook together. As you can see, there's not a whole lot of oil in there. Most of it had cooked out. And again, I got 2 cups of beef broth, maybe those beef cubes. I'll start off with maybe half of it, maybe 1 cup. So I don't want to over saturate this cabbage because it does have liquid in it as well. Just kind of mix all this together here. What I'm going to do is put a lid on this and let it cook down for about 20-30 minutes. meantime, let's go check on our dough. It's been about a half hour. So let's go put a lid on this, check the dough. All right, again, it's only been like half hour or so. And yeah, the dough has risen, but it's not double in size. So we need to let that go for another half hour. Check back on the cabbage and stuff here shortly. Hey everybody, appreciate y'all sticking with me over here. I'll tell you what, man, I tasted this stuff just a short time ago, and this is some kind of good. Really, really is good. I'm just got the lid off, kind of letting the rest of the liquid, see if it can evaporate out of there. And it's been going right about an hour now. That's been going about an hour. I think I put too much of that beef broth in there. Maybe should have gone with maybe half a cup or even a quarter of a cup. I forgot that cabbage has so much liquid in it. But anyway, it's really tender now. It's looking good. And let me show you what we got going with the dough over here. Here we go. All right, with the dough, it has just about doubled in size. I did have some issues with it though. It didn't want to rise, or it was going very, very slowly. So what I had to do, I had to put it in my oven. It's still like early March here. Not that cold, but still, you know, in the 40s, I guess, mid 40s, lower 50s. But I wanted it to rise a little bit faster than it's probably wanting to. So I put it in the oven and put the oven on like 220, 215, 220. And as soon as it came up to temp, I shut the oven off. And I left the towel on top of the flour, the dough I mean, and just let it sit there. And it's been in there probably 45 minutes or so, maybe. And it's definitely risen. So it was just, the inside of my house is cold right now. So again, you're gonna run into the kind of stuff when you're trying to bake bread and you're working with yeast. They're alive. They need heat. Not too much heat, not anything over above 108, 110. But yeah, they need heat to make them active. Anyway, show you what we're gonna do with this. Hang on. All right, first off, I still have this quarter cup of flour right here that I didn't use earlier out of the 4 cups. Just gonna lightly coat this right here. Hang on a second, y'all. All right, as y'all can probably tell, wife came home. So I've got this flour down here anyway. Got my my dough. I'm gonna tell you, this really is some good feeling dough right here. Sprinkle a little flour on top of there, like that right there. Got my dough right here. We're just gonna roll it out. And what you want to do is kind of roll it out to an even thickness, pretty thin actually. This is some nice dough, y'all. I have to remember this recipe. This is some fine stuff. I hope it tastes as good as it feels. I've made a lot of dough, but this is some good feeling dough right here. Okay. Flip this bad boy over here. Redo my stuff right here. Patch up any holes you got right here. Getting a little thin right there, I guess. So I can help that out a little bit. You want to get it about 1/4 of an inch thick. And form it into a rectangle. So what you're gonna do, you're gonna cut strips about, well, you know, different people have different ways of doing it, but usually what you do, you can cut like 4 to 6 inch strips with a pizza cutter. Which I need to turn this so I can do that. Hang on just a second here. Turn it this way. There we go. Again, we're kind of forming a rectangle here. And again, this end doesn't have to be perfect. All right, what I'm gonna do is fold this up. See, nice and folded up. That'll make it a little flaky. A little more flour down here.
You mentioned Travis had hit your car once. Can you tell us about that incident? Yes.
There we go. Okay. Now we're just rolling this up. Let me do this, form it into a rectangle. We'll be right back. All right, we are going to cut these. Let's see if I can do this without messing them up too bad. Cut them into nice little strips here. Try to make 9 of them. There we go. Right. All right, let's see if we can put some of this stuff together here. We'll get you a couple of good tablespoons of this mixture right here. And we're just going to kind of fold all these corners up here. And you're going to do what you can to make these seams all together. Like that. There you go. See the bottom? Just kind of put it together and then put it down like that. All right, we're going to do the rest of these just like that. I'm going to do one more for you. You want these fairly full here. So there we go. Just like that. And again, I'm putting them seam side down. All right, let me do the rest of these. All right, I'm gonna throw some cheese on these last ones here. Got some Monterey Jack. Just want to see if it'll taste any different. I'm sure it will, because I like cheese. So I'm just gonna add some of this cheese here, like this here. And you can put cheddar on here, I guess, if you want. Again, different people do different things with these. And just gonna kind of see if I can get all this stuffed in here. There we go. Just like that. Oh, got a little breach right there. It's a little thin. That'd be all right. All right. This one here. Add this one here. Again, you just want to kind of see if you can seal those seams there just a little bit. There you go. Form it into a little ball. Put it like that. Okay, we're going to do this one. There we go. Just like that. And again, just forming a little ball. Just like that. All right. Let's put this in the oven, 350. Got a preheated oven already. 350 for about 15, 20 minutes. I'm gonna check it after 15. All right, we are back. It took about 30 minutes actually for these. And trying to remember which ones have cheese. I think it's these. Yeah, these last three right here. Anyway, I wasn't sure I mentioned it, but I did put parchment paper down on this, parchment paper down here. Tell you what, these sure do smell good. They look good too. That's some good looking bread. Like I said, I make bread quite often, and not bread, but I do baking with yeast and stuff. That's why I got that big batch of the big thing of yeast. Anyway, those look pretty good. Need to let these cool off. Probably about 20 minutes or so. They're piping hot right now. So let these cool off. We'll check them out here shortly. Hey everybody, appreciate y'all joining me for this follow-up here. I put these on a cookie cooling rack because you don't want the moisture from the inside of this to dampen the inside of this roll as it cools off. It'd be kind of messed up. So anyway, that kind of lets the air cool around it and keeps it nice. And as you know, there was a roll here, but it's gone now. These were the 3 cheese ones. My wife got a little hungry, so she had one. She thought it tasted pretty good. The bread could use a little bit more flavor, but the inside was excellent. The cabbage and meat and onion and stuff, that was spot on, man. All right, so I thought I'd give one of these a try. I'm gonna give this little one a try right here. Doesn't have any cheese or anything in it. Let's cut this baby open. Let's see what it's looking like. And these have been cooling for about a half hour. All right, here we go. Nice little, maybe I'm too close. There you go. A little closer. That's what I'm talking about. See, a little bit of that there going on. Okay. I'm gonna do this one. This one looks better. Anyway. All right, we're going for it. See? Here we go. It's pretty good. It's got a little bit of kick from that pepper. I put a bunch of pepper in there, just black pepper. Bread is a little bit bland. Maybe could use some more sugar for sweetness, or something. Need something. It's not bad, but it could use a little something.
Like some Italian seasoning.
Yeah, Italian seasoning or something like that. That'd be good. I want to try one of these with some cheese on it. Aha, that one that bust open, that's why it bust open. Look at all that right there. That's why it broke open. See it? See, it's kind of busted open right there. Anyway, it's got cheese in there. Wow. If I do this again, it's gonna have some cheese in there. Probably tastes good with cheddar cheese too. I can see why these carried over from Russia to Germany to Nebraska. That's some pretty good eats, man. Y'all should check these things out. Glad I ran across that recipe. Y'all check them out. Let me know what you think. Love y'all. Appreciate you joining me once again, and we'll see y'all next time. Thanks.